So Melissa, I'm going to ask you to introduce our friends here at United Healthcare and talk to us about the sales side of it with Tommy Brazie on during the open enrollment.
Thanks, Lisa.
Yep.
Tommy Brazie, he's our people innovation leader for United Healthcare, and we have April Katz, Sue Perez, and Nicola Irby, all who are representing different facets of United Healthcare One's different business units. And so I'll
pass it to you.
Yeah, if this is hopefully working. Okay, good. All right, so exactly as Melissa said, thank you, Melissa. My name is Tommy Brazie, and I am a people innovation leader at TPG. So that means that my job is to help make better people. And since joining TPG, I've had the honor of working with United Healthcare to do just that. So at UHC, we have a mission, right? Our mission is to help people live healthier lives. And through our partnership, we have been able to leverage our behavior science, our tools, and 25 years of business experience to continue to accomplish this mission. So this year, not unlike other years before, our UHC sales groups were faced with a difficult challenge, right? How to successfully grow while keeping the you intact. So in the healthcare field, for those of you who are in healthcare, we have a vital seasonality to our business, okay? Each year, between the months of October and January, we have what are called open enrollment seasons, right? Our periods of time where our customers can enroll in a variety of our products and plans. And what this means is that ultimately each year, we have a very short window of time, sometimes mere weeks, to train new hires, refresh tenured agents, and align on best practices before going into the trenches, basically, of open enrollment. So what we're going to talk about today is this question we ask ourselves going in this year. How do we optimize insight when we have very little time, we have all these new people to coach, and it's our busiest season? So what I've done is I've invited my friends up to join me here today. We're going to split this kind of into three parts to talk about three different parts of our sales business. And to kick us off, I'd like to invite April Katz here to speak to over 65 Medicare sales.
Hey everyone. Like Tommy said, my name is April Katz. Thank you. Hi. Like Tommy said, my name is April Katz. And what my group is responsible for are all of the Medicare call center sales for our for the individual side of United Healthcare called United Health One. And we're a multi-carrier Medicare sales agency, so we support the brands for Health Markets and Hello Medicare, which are United Healthcare companies. This year, anyone who's familiar with AEP, my guys over here, right? A few more of you. It's an extremely busy time. It's so hard to manage the people, manage the work, and maintain partner relationships like with TPG and others. And this year we had a new to us problem. We had a recently acquired company that we were also bringing into our open enrollment season called AEP, and as well as an expanded vendor partner. So we had to bring all of those groups, and it was 200 people this last AEP, and all into the same systems, following the same scripts, and meeting all the same compliance standards, all the call flow expectations, and it was really complex. It's complex work. And AEP, your success during this 7-week time frame determines your success for the entire year. So you have to get it right. And it's all hands on deck. There's really not enough time to train everyone, to your point earlier, getting them upskilled as quickly as possible. And sometimes there's not much time or even desire to really maintain the partner relationships and things like that we have because there's just not enough time. But this year we took a different approach. We didn't step away from TPG. We actually leaned in to TPG this year. We went from our bi-weekly or monthly engagement Tommy and his team was invited to our daily stand-up meetings. Every Friday, we were offered the insights to what they were hearing on our calls. And I have so much I want to make sure you guys know. I want to make sure I get it all, but it's so much, it's so complex.
And the AEP season, I mean, 7 weeks, like, that's, to your point, that's quick.
Yeah, and what's kind of important is there's so much training and new leaders and new agents all getting upskilled for just this very short period of time. And that's just one of the many reasons why there's just not a lot of time to do much, and that's where TPG kind of helped us out. But back to the daily stand-ups and the insights. So what that really did is it allowed TPG and Tom and the TPG team to go beyond only hearing like our practices or what we wanted to have happen on calls just during like sales calibration sessions. So instead of like this agent could have done better on this objection in this calibration call, they were able to hear like all of the nuances and brainstorming ideas that my team would have on our daily stand-ups. So this was huge for the team. Because what would happen is then, sorry, I lost my hash. I'm a little nervous.
You're good. You're good.
Nervous.
You're among friends. This is all friends.
These are my people.
If I may, April, what I would speak to is exactly as she said, right? In the past, what has happened with us is that a lot of times our healthcare clients kind of tone down our engagement during this period. There's the focus on the sales component, and so for this few weeks at a time, right, we lessen our engagement. We decided not to do that. We decided to do the opposite. We decided to meet more regularly. We decided that we would have those more regular insights. And we decided that we would, exactly as April said, be more integrated, right? We would expand that sense of our relationship where we have that integration with each other. So what that meant, to April's point, is that our internal meetings, April's internal meetings that she invited my team and I to, that gave us a direct line of sight into what was going on in sales performance. That allowed us to see what the UHC dialogue was regarding. From there, then we brought those regular insights where we were able to look at our products offer, we were able to look at our needs analysis, our objections, and then specific to over 65, we also brought beneficiary understanding, which for those of you who are familiar with the Medicare group and those of you who aren't, this allowed us to say, when we're done with the call, did the beneficiary understand the product the way that the agent described it? And that is so vital, especially to this protected class, right? And especially to this demographic. So making sure that we had those insights was important. Those were then followed up by our people innovation sessions. So exactly as April mentioned, that was where I would sit down with the team and we would have basically a collaborative space, right? To talk about our best practices and our current coaching methods.
Well, and to that note, I mentioned earlier that we had an expanded vendor partnership and a newly acquired company all coming into the same space, but all of those different groups brought different ways of selling, different compliance expectations coming in, and we had to get them all, kind of doing it the same way, the United Healthcare way, which is a really tall order. And so those insights were actually broken down by the call center, the different call center locations as well, so that we could get to their individual needs and their areas of opportunity as efficiently as possible. So it's not a one size fits all approach on the insight meetings, and we were able to use that to get us, as efficient as possible and get our sales to where they need to be as quickly as possible.
By breaking down to April's point again, everything was broken down by site and vendor, right? So we could make sure we got all the way down to the agent level and had targeted coaching. Behind all of this was also our CX platform, of course, which acted as a support apparatus during this period, right? So we had our internal meetings where we're seeing what's going on. We're bringing regular insight. We have our people innovation sessions to make better people. And the whole time we've got our develop tool, which is our logging tool, right? Our coaching tool so that our team is able to log and trend their coaching. Our ideal conversation insight, where they have dashboards to pinpoint data and opportunities. and TPG job aids and coaching materials, which allowed them to really take what they were learning in our sessions and then bring it down to that agent level.
Yeah, the coaching tools were particularly helpful because it helped us just get everyone coaching the same way, as efficiently as possible. The other area that TPG made a huge difference and I'm particularly grateful for is in the lead generation space. This past AEP season, the leads that were brought to us were just a little different than what we'd seen in the past, and it took a different sort of finesse that we weren't quite prepared to do in the beginning. So the insights actually broke down our results down to the lead source. So that helped us really determine where to route our calls, when to run our calls, who to route our calls to, just to ensure the best outcomes. So yeah, extremely grateful for that work as well. And thank you, Tommy. That's one thing that you covered.
Thank you so much, April. Okay, so that was over 65. To go ahead and talk about our pre-65 bilingual sales, I'd like to invite Celia Perez to speak.
Hello everyone, my name is Celia Perez. I am the sales manager on our pre-65 team. I heard there's several of you guys that have background in health insurance, but for those of you that don't know, pre-65 basically, my team sells health insurance to individuals under the age of 65. Post, pre. I have 7 supervisors. Each of the supervisors have about 15 agents. My bilingual team, which is the one I'm here to talk about, is 2 groups. So 2 supervisors, so about 30 agents. I've been with the company for about 14 years now, always supportive of sales and direct sales. I've been in sales since I was 19 years old. The reason why I bring this up is because I love sales. Just being out here talking to you guys about what I do in sales, part of it, I love it. I think sales and customer service goes hand in hand.
Yes,
It's
it
just
does.
a way of servicing our customers. So again, I'm going to talk about my bilingual team. I'm sure all of you guys, some if not all of you guys, know the growing pains of expansion. It's a lot of excitement, but a lot of work. So 75% of my bilingual team was brand new, taking their first sales call, 2 weeks prior to open enrollment. Woo! 2 weeks prior to open enrollment. So everybody knows learning, a new sales flow and products, it takes time. It takes time. So again, 2 weeks prior to open enrollment, I'm faced with needing help. And I reach out to TPG saying, I need help. And that's exactly what they did.
Thank you, Celia. So exactly as Celia mentioned, right, we had this bilingual opportunity. And actually at the start of open enrollment, we only had, as she mentioned, 2 supervisors who spoke Spanish. At TPG, as Lisa mentioned earlier, we speak over 13 languages. Between German, French, Italian, Dutch, Russian, Arabic, Japanese, and of course we speak Spanish, right? So we were able to leverage our language specialists between our teams to being able to support Celia exactly as she asked. The first thing we did is, again, we brought regular insight, right? Particular to this group, making sure that we were focused on how they were expanding, right? What those growing pains were and how we could navigate them. We also made sure we brought anecdotal feedback, vital for those of you who are in the multilingual business, right? So this allowed us to have our language specialists bring to the table what were succinct examples of the customer experience. And with this new team, it allowed us to say, what is the agent perspective? What does that flow look like, right? And in addition, we of course had our CX platform. So this integration meant that while we were getting our bearings, our supervisors had access right to their performance. They were able to benchmark and trend how they were moving through these successes. Okay. So by providing this immediate feedback on language, we were able to strategize customer engagement and optimize performance. This meant that overall, our bilingual pre-65 team observed an increase in their offer rate, a decrease in their objection rate, and overall an 89% improvement to positive outcome.
then because of laser focused training and coaching that we were able to do, several of the new agents ended up top performers at the end of open enrollment. So that was, to me, I consider that a win.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Thank you. And again, I want to, just like April, I want to thank Celia and her team for their work this year. It's incredible what we're able to do. All right, to talk about our Pre-65 ACA sales or Affordable Care Act sales, I'd like to ask Nikila Irby to introduce herself.
Yes, so my name is Nikila Irby, and I'm the sales manager at United Healthcare over our ACA teams, or Affordable Care Act teams. That's the team that I lead.
Good deal. Okay, so Nikila, do you want to talk a little bit about the challenges we were faced this year?
Right, so as we've all mentioned, open enrollment is just a short period of time, right? So we have a short period of time to get our agents good fast. Last year, we had a unique challenge because United Healthcare expanded their footprint. So United Healthcare individual and family plans, or ACA plans, went from an 8-state footprint to 15 states. In addition to that, we had a really large class that we hired last year that, again, they took their first sales call 2 weeks before open enrollment. So we had some challenges ahead of us, right? We had expansion, we had new agents, and it was the busiest time of the year, which is open enrollment. So during open enrollment, we have customers that are calling us back that we helped last year. We have new customers calling us back that are responding to marketing materials. It could have been a mailer or some ad. And we also have our customers that we may have sold a short-term plan to throughout the year that are calling us back because now it's open enrollment and they can have a plan. Everybody can have a plan during open enrollment. So during this busy time, Tommy and I talked about, hey, well, what do we do during open enrollment? Because normally we do fall back, but no, we came with a plan. We said, let's turn it up. Right, so we did that,
And
turn it up.
It was an incredible conversation too, because what I loved about each of these pieces is, again, I had come in and everyone had told me, during open enrollment, engagement low, engagement low, engagement low. And these 3 brilliant leaders all said, no, actually, no, this is not what we're gonna do. We're gonna up it, we're gonna meet more regularly, we're gonna look at how we can really leverage this partnership to expand our scope here. So exactly as Nikila said, we recognize these specific opportunities to ACA, and we had similar action pieces, but specific to what those needs were, right? So again, Nikila was gracious enough to invite us to her internal meetings. This gave us scope into what those conversations looked like between her teams. And then we were able to come to those meetings with weekly insight. Now with the ACA team, what we focused on was supervisor level. So we actually benchmarked the supervisors against each other. And for a lot of people in this room, you know that incites a healthy level of competition, right? So we were able to see what those week-to-week trends look like and pinpoint those opportunities. We again have people innovation sessions. Those are collaborative sessions that were broken up by this team into those supervisor level. So what those look like were activities. I used to be a school teacher, actually. I worked for the Department of State, and then I was a teacher. And I like people to talk. I like a lot of motivation. I like a lot of color. And that means that we had these collaborative sessions where people wouldn't sit on teams. People interacted. We had breakout rooms, right, to get peer-to-peer focus and review. We had whiteboardings, which allowed the supervisors to break down what Jack's method was versus what Celia's method was versus what Renee's method was. And we had polling that made sure that we were consistently and constantly aligned on what opportunity looked like and what good sounded like. Our CX platform, again, acted as a support apparatus, making sure that we had consistent coaching with Nikila's team at our supervisor and team lead levels, making sure that they were able to trend their opportunities and benchmark against each other, get down to that agent level and provide heat maps of opportunity, and use those job aids and coaching materials to focus on their particular opportunities. With ACA, we brought specific data points week to week, again on objections, needs analysis, sales funnel, but for this team, we also looked at the effectiveness of their needs analysis, as well as their ability to build rapport with the customer. And again, we brought lead source to this team to allow their marketing team to have a deeper understanding of opportunity.
I will say the involvement of TPG really afforded us the opportunity to get our agents good fast. I mean, we would normally normally coach them anyway, right? They went through an extensive training program, so they were ready. But with TPG's insights and the one-pagers that they created, training documents, was really a compliment to what we do in our business, and it was successful, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Successful open enrollment.
So by ramping up our engagement and leaning into our partnership on the platform, our ACA team by the end of open enrollment saw a 6% increase in their offer rate, a 37% decrease in their objection rate, and a 126% improvement to their positive outcomes. And I call that a big win. I'll let Michaela speak in her own words.
Go ahead. I know I am very thankful that TPG did crank it up with us last year. As we cranked it up, TPG cranked it up, and it was a successful open enrollment for us.